Greetings, everyone, and thank you all for tuning in to another edition of Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay. Uh, Hope you all are doing well and ready for this new episode number 53. This one is entitled, let me get the title up here and share with you all. First off, let me say thank you to those of you who are tuning in. Thank you to our first-time viewers. If you're tuning in to this podcast for the first time, I appreciate you joining. I am Yah-Tay Keaton, the host of Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay. I am also a barber stylist as well as a new barber instructor. With that being said, tonight's episode is more or less me stepping more into this role. If you viewed the podcast before, you know I have come with various subjects as it relates to barbering, the barbering industry, just things along those lines as it relates to the barbering industry. I have created a tab for that, a folder, a playlist on YouTube. If you're viewing from Instagram and or Facebook, the playlist is on YouTube, and I have all of the videos where I've done one-on-ones or solo episodes with various topics. Let me grab my phone so I can get that for you and be exact with that. I'm doing a different setup today because I'm trying out different things, and we're just gonna run with it. That's what it's all about when you're doing something new. Well, I'm still in the infancy stage of the podcast. You're doing something new, and you're trying out different areas. So to get back to what I was sharing, let me turn down the volume here because I don't want it on. I want to let you all know what the playlist is on Real Roots TV in the event that any of you would like to go check it out. So there's a playlist for our first Sunday episodes, the Fade and Flow Show with myself and Brandy Daniels, aka Lady Faded. She is my barber, but we come on every first Sunday to do the Fade and Flow Show. We talk about various topics as well. We're trying to put together some stuff that'll be a little more off the cuff per se, not the norm, and we're pulling some things together for that. So we also have the Fade and Flow Show as a playlist. The other playlists that house all the individual solo episodes that I've done, bringing barber knowledge and education and various things that I have experienced and I've heard that I believe need to have attention drawn to it or brought to the forefront. I am providing or have provided information on that. So that playlist is entitled Barber Knowledge. There are about 22 episodes under that. And I also have a tab where we're honoring military veterans. We did start that last year, honoring military veterans in the month of November. However, anytime I come across barbers who are veterans, I meant to say military veterans who are barbers. So anytime I come across someone who is a military veteran and they're a barber, I try to get them on because that's unique within and of itself. But nonetheless, the solo podcast, Barber Knowledge, the playlist is entitled Barber Knowledge Matters. So let's get to this episode. Vision without burnout. Vision without burnout. Designing your ideal barber life is the title there. So got a question for you. Let me ask you something. Does your barber life actually support the life you want, or are you surviving it? Think about that for a minute. Does your barber life actually support the life you want, or are you surviving in it, meaning surviving in the barber life that you have at the moment? So I want to say this. A lot of barbers have vision, big goals, big dreams, you know, and everything in between. But the problem isn't vision, it's burnout chasing the vision that has or was never designed to fit your real life or their real life. So I'm speaking from experience. You know, I had some vision coming in, but because I've lived in various careers, you know, I was sorting through, okay, what is it that I ultimately want to do um, as a barber stylist within the industry? So ultimately, I'll just say I have three words: teach, travel, and talk. I want to teach, travel, and talk. But as it relates to barbering, my desire is to impart into the next generation of barbers, the barbers who are coming in, even those who are considering it. I desire to impart into them. And why is that? Because I believe, knowing my heart of hearts, that the various career fields that I've had, the places that I've been, the knowledge that I've gained, to coupled with experience, I believe that I'm in a unique position to share that information, inspire. And also, I was talking with someone about this just the other day, but also help them not make the same mistakes that I've made or generations in the past have made, not only as it relates to their career field, this industry, but just in general. So that is my position with this. So ultimately, I desire to share my knowledge, and teaching can be in the classroom, here on the podcast, which is another avenue that I'm directing a lot of this knowledge, which is why you see these topics come up. They come up from conversations that I've heard, DMs that I've received, and just observing, different environments as it relates to the barber and beauty industry. But nonetheless, as I mentioned, I posed a question: does your barber life actually support the life you want, or are you surviving it? Are you surviving in it right now? Think about it. And I said a lot of barbers, they have vision, big dreams, big goals, and everything in between. But the problem isn't vision, it's burnout chasing vision that has never or was never designed to fit the real life, or the real life that you envision. So in this episode of Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay, we'll be talking about how to design an ideal barber life without sacrificing your health, your peace, and your purpose. Y'all always know that I'm always talking about purpose, alignment, peace, and health. And I bring up the health concern or conversation a lot because, as I mentioned, a little more seasoned than the average individual being in this game. And that's not to say that individuals don't come in at a later time in their life, but oftentimes barbers, stylists, master barbers, whomever are in the barber and beauty industry, they tend to come in right out of high school, shortly after high school, in their early 20s. Okay. Miss Yah-Tay is double that. All right. Triple that. But nonetheless, I'm here, and I'm enjoying this process. I always say that I'm getting a second chance at my first love, but nonetheless, we're going to make the best of it, and I'm going to be impactful as I do it. So let me see. We got some folks joining us. I want to, hey, Sandra, thank you for joining. Greatly appreciate it. Looking great. Good, girl. Thank you. I got to say, I've been taking time this first, well, actually coming off the tail end of last year, and especially the first part of this year. I usually do like the first quarter, and just kind of, you know, really focus in. And as we're talking about designing your ideal barber life, I look at the ideal of what I envision for the first, second, and third quarter, for the year as a whole. But I've been intentional about doing that, and I'm revisiting some things. Like example, I loved I love to read. However, I had not been reading as consistently as I used to read. I'm talking a couple books a month. Um, yeah, but anyway, I got a book on the coffee table right now that I'm starting out. My intentions is to read that first, and I got a couple of them lined up because I see the what we call when it builds upon one topic, and layering. So I have a few books that I'm going to read first, excuse me, in addition to some books within the industry that I'm reading. The books that I'm talking about, that I have three of them that I'm reading. Read one first, then the second and the third, because the principles that my spirit is showing me, it'll build upon that. But anywho, um, they are all professional development, personal development, or self-help books that I'm reading in addition to industry books. But let's get back to the topic at hand. Tonight's topic, once again, we're in episode 53 of Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay, and the title of this one is Vision Without Burnout, Designing Your Ideal Barber Life. It kind of sounds funny, but if you think about it, vision without burnout. See, I'm at a point in my career um, where it is said, or statistically, at the 5-year mark, individuals tend to reach burnout, and that's what Ms. Yah-Tay is looking to prevent burnout. Now, I mentioned that I get tired, I overwork myself sometimes, but I've never been to a place where I felt completely burnt out. So, in looking to educate, share my knowledge, and ultimately be in the environment to teach this, because that's a passion of mine. I'm a teacher. Any subject, give me a subject and give me a little bit of time, I can get it down. But nonetheless, let's get back to the point. So in this episode, once again, of Female Barber Talk, we're going to be talking about how to design an ideal barber life without sacrificing your health, peace, and purpose. And like I said, I always talk about health, one, because I'm coming in at a later time in my life, but peace, because that's so important. Not just peace in your career, but peace in your professional life, but peace in your personal life, as well as purpose and alignment. So I have 3 points that I'm going to be sharing with you tonight, and just giving you some cues and different things to consider as we go through this. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. As we go through this particular episode. So we're in episode 53, Vision Without Burnout, Designing Your Ideal Barber Life. So the first point that I want to discuss is vision that ignores lifestyle creates burnout. So listen, the first point, vision that ignores lifestyle creates burnout. And I'm being intentional about this. So I have some things that I'm going to share and put out there and give you food for thought on this as we go through these 3 points. So my focus with this vision that ignores lifestyle creates burnout is, think about this: a vision that looks successful but doesn't account for real life will eventually exhaust you. And real life is subjective. That whatever resonates with you as it relates to real life, all of those things outside of your profession, right? Everything outside of being in the shop, being behind the chair, tending to your clients, professional development, anything outside of that, we're talking about, we're going to say the other part of your life instead of real life, because it's all real life, but the other part of your life. So here again, my focus with this first point, a vision that ignores lifestyle causes burnout, is a vision that looks successful but doesn't account for your life or the other part of our life, real life, will eventually exhaust you. Think about it. So here are some examples of what I mean by this point. A barber who wants 6 figures but never calculate how many hours that it actually requires. So you got the math in there, the cost per cut, and I know this is big on these internet streets, are talking about barber prices. A lot of things are factored into that, from skill set to location, to location is big. Where are you? You're in a suite, you commission, you booth rental. There are a lot of things that factor into the price, the products, what it takes for that particular style. What are you using for the particular style? So all of that is factored in, not just the service providers' professionalism and knowledge, but all of those other things are factored in the price as well. So another thing I want you to think about as it relates to this topic is barbers who fill every open slot but has no recovery days. So those barbers who are working, and I get it. I told y'all that I worked 2 different positions because I was trying to gain skill in one area while servicing on the other side because I lacked a skill. So for a whole 13 months, I worked in 2 different locations, gaining a skill on one side and working the skill on the other side. So I get this. I've been there, done that. But what I have found is what I'm explaining to you and why I'm sharing vision without burnout, designing your ideal barber life. So in other words, I'm sharing from experience, from hoping that it would be a preventative measure or a balance measure. So once again, a barber who fills every slot but has no recovery days. So that barber, that master barber, that stylist out there that's working 7 days a week, 8, 9, sometimes 10 hours a day, and you're not allowing your body, your mind to recover, guess what? You're going to eventually exhaust yourself. And let me tell you, when the body puts you down, you down. All right. The other thing, a barber chasing 4 books without considering family, health, or your mental health, the mental space, the break in between. When you're chasing that, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. What I'm saying is balance. All right. Balance from the standpoint of preventing burnout. What we don't want to do is prevent burnout. And oftentimes newer barbers, younger barbers, or younger stylists, they chasing, not knowing, what is this going to do for me on the back end? Yes, you're young. Yes, I've heard, well, I sleep when I'm dead, or many other things. But I'm going to tell you, I've seen scenarios where things have happened, from health situations to various other things that make you think twice about what I'm sharing. So, vision without lifestyle design is just ambition for autopilot. And I've been on autopilot, been there, feel like I'm just going, just going through the motions. Think about this. When you think about autopilot, think about you leaving home to go to work. Oftentimes, we just go. We know how to get there, and our mind is not really thinking about the turns, the stops, the traffic flow. We're on autopilot and we're getting there. So when I talk about or discuss this insight, with vision without lifestyle design is just ambition on autopilot. Think about you driving from your home to the salon or to the barbershop without really thinking about it. You leave and you get there. And you're there. Let me turn this down because I can hear some noise in the background. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. There we go. Got it. So that's what I mean by autopilot. So what I want you to take away from this particular point here, a vision that ignores lifestyle creates burnout, is that if your goals don't include rest, they're incomplete. The body needs time to recover. The body needs time to, I call it the rebuild, rejuvenate itself, and recover, the 3 R's. Your cells do rebuilding. Now, I'm not a medical doctor, but I know when you rest, the cells are rebuilding, they're rejuvenating themselves. You're getting rest. All right. So I get it. I've been there. I was one who was there. So now I am looking at things differently, especially because I'm a lot older than you are. But even in that, it's about balance. It's about structure. It's about not burning out too soon, especially early on in the career. It's going to happen. You're going to be successful in it. You're going to make the monies as you continue to progress and invest in yourself and your skills, and offer an exceptional service to your clients. They're going to take care of you. They're going to support you. All right. So jumping out the gate, don't be in so much of a rush. I'm in different groups, various chats, and I hear individuals who are still in school. Well, what clippers work the best? Don't be hard on me. I've only been in school X amount of months. What does this look like? Provide me some constructive criticism. I personally like to use the phrase constructive comments, because construct means to build. Criticism is like, you construct criticism. It's like a negative and a positive in one, which is why I use constructive comments. But in saying that, I'm listening to him like, God, do you know repetition is going to get you there? The more you do, the better you get, unless you've been practicing all along. Now, that's not to say that some barbers aren't gifted at this. Some are gifted, others are trained, and they develop their skill over time. But either way, whichever side of the coin you're coming from, is still going to take time to develop that gift, and also time to develop that skill, because you want your gift to be greater, right? And you want that skill to shine through more, which again takes practice, repetition, and you investing in yourself to continue to elevate that skill set or that gift. So The takeaway for this first point is if your goals don't include rest, they're incomplete. You don't want to be incomplete. Get some rest. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. And it's going to save you on the back end, because if you don't, your body is going to tell you, and don't allow your body to tell you, because that means you've come to that point where your body is like, whoo, it's time. It's time. You won't do it on your own. I'm going to force you to do it so you can rest me so I can do more. All right. The second point that I want to make with this: capacity is not fixed. It changes with the seasons. Listen to me. Capacity, your ability to do, go, be, is not fixed. It changes with seasons. Just like we have fall, we have spring, we have winter, we have summer. Those seasons change and it requires different things. Example, clothing. You're not going to wear some people probably would, depending on their tolerance for cold weather. But normally, you don't wear summer clothes in the wintertime, and vice versa. I hope you wouldn't. But I'm just using that as an example and a visual, and what I am trying to illustrate with point number 2. Capacity is not fixed. It changes with seasons. What I want you to focus on with this point: what you can handle today may not be what you can handle 2 years from now, 5 years from now, or 10 years from now. And that's not failure. It's not failure. Okay, listen to me. It's not failure. Examples of what I am sharing with this point: capacity is not fixed. It changes with seasons. Take this for an example. So you got a barber who could work 10 to 12 hours a day in their 20s, but struggles with pain and fatigue now. They're much older. They have different things going on with the body. Yeah, when you was young, you can do them 10 hours, them 20 hours, 30 hours, or 40 hours. Well, you can't do 40 hours in a day, but you can do 24 hours in a day should you choose to do that. But the example is 10 to 20 hours in a day in your 20s versus now that you're a little bit older and you struggle with the feet bother you, the legs, your back, or whatever it is. That's not failure. That means adjustment, because your body is telling you something different and you have to adjust or you're going to break it down. Another example of this is a barber navigating parenthood, caregiving, or health challenges. Whereas in your 20s, you might not have had a family. You might have a child or two now and got to make the adjustments. Whether you are partnered with someone, you're married and have a family, or you're planning a family. That changes things. So you got to navigate through that. Allow time to pick them up, drop them off. They get sick. You make the adjustments. Caregiving. What if you're someone who supports a family member? You offer, you help with the caregiving of a loved one. And then health changes and or challenges. If there's a health situation, you might need to adjust. I can speak from experience. When I was doing commission work, though I always worked this particular schedule, but nonetheless, when I had to adjust to make my medical appointments and see my chiropractor and do all of these different things, I had to make adjustments to my schedule so that I can meet those appointments to keep me going. So you got to make those adjustments. And another example of this is a barber adding education, content creation, or mentoring to their workload. So additional education, that takes time. For example, for me, I recently sat for and passed my state board exams to become a barber instructor. And I know there's a lot of different things as it relates to that. That I hear within the industry, the pros and cons of it, the do's and don'ts of it. But nonetheless, I had to set aside time for that so that I could be prepared, not go in feeling overwhelmed and underprepared to take that state board exam in order to pass it first time up. Other thing, content creation. Some individuals believe in it, some don't prioritize it. So if you're one who do it, you got to put in time for it because it takes time to do it. Like what I'm doing now with the podcast episode. It takes time to look at the DMs that are coming in, the research, all of those things to put together a podcast or points that not only are informative but impactful. And I like to think down the line. So if somebody is playing this podcast a month from now, 2 months from now, 2 years from now, the information within is evergreen. It's still something that they can pull something from and get something out of. So I not only think about the current time, but if somebody goes and look at it in a couple months or a year or two, will they be able to pick up and use this information? Will it be relevant now to them then? So I'm thinking along those lines as well. So once again, with this second point, capacity is not fixed. It changes with season. And there are different examples that I've shared with you how and why those things change. And when they change, whether it be age, whether it be family dynamics, whether it be health or parenthood or caregiving. So all of those things are an impact to your schedule and how you go about offering your services. And once again, adding education to it, content creation, and mentoring for those of you who desire to mentor others. That's a piece for me as well. So with this, the insight that I want to share with you as it relates to capacity is not fixed. It changes with season. Is outgrowing your old capacity is a sign of evolution, not weakness. Just think about it. Give you another example. Do you still wear your onesies? No. Do you still wear your 3Ts? Now, that don't mean you probably can't wear them jeans that you had since high school, but you get the picture that I'm sharing, right? And you get the vision that I'm trying to impart as it relates to this topic. Outgrowing your old capacity is a sign of evolution. You're evolving, you're growing, not weakness. So I want you to take it as such. All right. What I want you to take away from this particular topic, this point, I'm going to say this second point is success must adjust as your life evolves. And success is what you deem it to be. All right. Not what someone else put on you, not what, folks think, but what it is for you. All right. So with that, what worked before may not work now. Think about that. It worked then, but it doesn't work now. Fully booked schedules with no recovery days. That might have worked when you was 20 and 19 and 20 and in mid-20s and maybe even your early 30s. But as your lifestyle change, your situations change, those things will change too, or you'll adjust them. I'll say that. Ambitions without rest leads to resentment. So think about that. Ambitions without rest will lead to resentment. A coulda, shoulda, woulda. Hey, thank you for tuning in, LaDosha. Greatly appreciate you joining. Thank you. You better say it. I'm living it. I'm experiencing it. And I just think that I'm in a unique position because of the previous careers and things that I've experienced. And coming into this industry at this point, I'm able to share this not only as a tool to I won't say a learning tool, but also from experience. And some of it I walked through recently. I'm going through as I'm sharing it, but nonetheless, it doesn't prevent me from bringing the knowledge to you. So, with that, once again, you may. I'm sorry, because I'm thinking about it now. Your capacity changes with seasons. Just remember that. Point two, your capacity changes with seasons. So capacity that is fixed. You don't want a capacity that's fixed because your season change. So you want to be able to adjust. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Adjust. So the third point that I want to share with you all is designing an ideal barber life requires intentional structure. I know we get out there and, we go in and whoever comes through, that's who I'm cutting today. Or whoever shows up, that's who I'm going to work on today. But the truth of the matter is, in order to design your ideal barber life, is going to require intention and structure, hence intentional structure. And what I want you to focus on with this point here is you don't stumble into alignment, you design it. You design it. You got to have a vision. We talked about vision coming in on the first show back, show 51. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Brandon and I talked about New Year, New Vision, and we shared some things as it relates to that. But in saying that, you don't stumble into alignment, you design it. And what I want to say about designing it, in designing it and writing it down and, writing the vision and making it plain, you want to leave room, what we called it in the military, contingency plans. So you want, though you have a map and you have a list or you have a layout or you have a blueprint, designs, I'm pulling from my interior design background. You got blueprint, you got all of these things checked off or listed out. You still want to leave room for adjustments, room for things to happen. In other words, you don't want to be so rigid to it that when something comes up or something happens, because life is going to happen, something is going to come up, something is going to happen. It's how you adjust and how you deal with that thing while you're still pursuing that vision or that dream or that goal. So remember, you don't stumble into alignment, you design it. But in designing it, you want to leave a contingency plan. You want to leave room there. Hello. Sandra was saying hello, Afro Science. Thank you for joining, ladies. I greatly appreciate it. I want to take a quick side note. Thank everybody for joining. I appreciate those of you who are catching this on the replay, my Instagram fam, my Facebook family. Thank you for joining, and also my YouTube family as well. Tonight, we're talking on episode 53, Vision Without Burnout, Designing Your Ideal Barber Life, Stylist Life. And actually, I always try to do this. These principles are not just barber and beauty industry driven. They can be used in your personal life or your professional life. Just take out the barber and use the key points here. So With designing your ideal barber life and it requiring intention and structural or intentional structure, um, you don't stumble into alignment, as I mentioned, you design it. And designing it, because life happened, because things happen, you want to allow for contingency plans, or uh, some people frown on saying backup, but I'm going to throw that out there for those of you who do have a backup plan. You want to put those things in place to support your vision, to support your dream, to support you creating this ideal life. All right. And here are some examples of what I'm sharing as it relates to this particular point. So choosing maybe 4 longer days instead of 6 short ones. You condense it. So then you got 4 work days and 2 days where you rest, you relax, you recover. You 3 days you do some other things. And if you structure your services, the price point for them, you'll maximize it, because there are plenty of people out there who are working shorter days and doing X amount of services that they're still making what they need to sustain their business and their personal life. Okay. So this is not a debate to, say who's doing right or who's doing wrong. All I am doing is sharing information to prevent the vision from burning out. That's all. Okay. So however these points work for you, work them. All right. So the next example I want to share with you is scheduling non-negotiable rest, or what we would call administrative days. I'm gonna give you an example. Kids go to school, right? They have days off. They even have administrative days for the teachers, the instructors. So they have time. So why would, as a barber professional or stylist, why wouldn't you schedule time? Why wouldn't you take breaks? Why wouldn't you see about your health and not let your health make you see about it? I'm just saying, been there, done that. Okay, so I'm speaking from someone who's had the body say, okay, Yah-Tay, and observing others as well. Sometimes you don't have to go through it in order to get the lesson. You can look at others and get the lesson. All right. Anywho, once again, another example is scheduling non-negotiable rest and administrative days for you. And another thing I want to share about this administrative day is, y'all, we work a business. So you got to have administrative days, whether you want to or not, because you got to make sure your mileage is in place. Make sure you accounting for those expenses, those tools, that chair you bought. I just bought a chair, so I'm throwing that in there. The chair you bought, the clippers you buy, the products you buy. You got to account for all of that, because that's part of the business side, not just the service side. So for those of you coming in, barbering is not just the creative side. It's not just about cutting hair and giving sharp lineups and putting that black eye spray on folks. I'm messing with y'all. It's not just about that. It's about being mindful of your business, taking care of your business, making sure your products are what you got ample products in that cabinet. Them towels raggedy and old, and you need to buy some new towels. Have you gone through the towel cabinet and looked at them towels and getting rid of them? Y'all know how it is when you got them holy socks and you still trying to hold on to them. Pun intended. Hold on to them, and you need to buy you a new pair. Okay. Anyway, that's what I'm getting at. So it's not all creative. It's not all about the cut. It's also about the books, the other side of it. Also about you, taking care of you as well. Let's see. We got some comments here. Sorry I'm late. Oh, WK, no problem. Thank you for joining. WK is saying, hey to Sandra and LaDolce. Thank y'all for joining. I appreciate it. So tonight, just give WK a quick update. We're talking about vision without burnout, designing your ideal barber life. And like I mentioned before, I try to make my content evergreen. So if somebody is listening to it today and a month from now, 2 months from now, they'll be able to pull something from it and it's still relevant. And even if they're not within the industry, they can still take something from it and apply it. That's the teacher in me. With that being said, we've covered 3 points. We're actually on the third point. We've talked about the first point, vision that ignores lifestyle creates burnout. And the second point is capacity is not fixed. It changes with seasons. And this point that we're on, WK, is designing an ideal barber life requires intentional structure. And I'm giving examples. And the third example I want to share with you all is serving fewer clients at a higher value, or value, not volume, but value, which means price point. And I kind of alluded to that in the second point with scheduling. But yes, serving fewer clients at a higher value. That means you're bringing value not only to your clients, but to the service that you're offering, which warrants that higher value, which means that you can choose fewer days, still get the same value and rest your body, but you're not taxing it either by working 6-7 days a week. But that comes with time, that comes with maturity, that comes with leveling up your skills, leveling up your products, and fine-tuning the services and things that you offer. Your clients know your value. If you got to raise prices to support your business, not just from a service standpoint, but from the logistical standpoint, then those clients who know your value, guess what? They're going to be there. So don't worry about it. The last point I want to make with this, or example I want to share with you all on this, is saying no to clients or schedules that disrupt your peace, ultimately your purpose. But those clients and schedules that disrupt your peace, because without your peace, there's no purpose. And there's definitely, from a health standpoint, it disrupts your health as well. So saying no to clients or schedules that disrupt your peace. And remember, it's a snowball effect or domino effect. If that peace isn't there, then you're not, being fulfilled with your purpose, and then it's going to impact your health at some point, because chaos and negativity and all of those other things disrupt your peace, which has an impact on your health. So what's the insight that I want you all to take from this point? Your schedule should reflect your values, not just your availability. Okay? So in looking at your values, your health, okay, mental, physical, and spiritual, I'm throwing that in there, your health, your business, and your personal, right? So your schedule should reflect your values, your lifestyle too, okay? But in this point, we're talking about your values and not just your availability. What do I want you to take away from this point is structure protects your energy and your purpose. Doesn't have to be rigid. You just got to have something there, okay? That help to protect you, your purpose, and your energy. So y'all know I put a little bit of coaching in there too, as well as not only exercising the, I've always been an educator. I'm just legally wearing the title educator as it relates to this arena. So what you are seeing and what you will continue to see is more solo podcasts like this, where I bring a subject matter, whether it's been shared, it's been, I've observed it within the industry and even outside of the industry, because I gather a lot of things outside the industry as well, that can be instrumental in sharing within the industry. I still will have individuals on. I'm working on that schedule as we speak. But like I said, I desire to maximize this platform, to share those previous careers, that knowledge, that experience, to help our younger generation who are considering this as a profession, and those who have entered into this profession who are still fairly new within the profession. My desire is to help them navigate it, not or try to prevent them from experiencing some of the challenges that will lead them to burnout early. All right. I want them to move at a bigger, better, faster rate. In other words, move with intention and yet have structure, so that they don't reach burnout at the statistical 5-year mark. All right. I'm there, y'all. I'm there. Meaning I've been in the industry to include school and barbering. I'm going into the 6-year mark. So, but nonetheless, that is the episode for this evening. I want to throw out another point as it relates to this last one. So the takeaway, once again, is structure protects your energy and your purpose. In this last point, your schedule should reflect your values and not just your availability again. So remember that. I know I said it up in the last point, but remember that your values should be reflected in your schedule, not just your availability. Let me see. We got some comments here. Wike says, peace is everything. Some clients will push the envelope just to get your attention in a negative way. I've had that experience. I told y'all that on a previous podcast where I got 2 warning signs. The first one sitting in the chair, the second one over at the shampoo bowl. I said, I'm not going to do 3 strikes, you're out. What I'm going to do is pass you on to somebody who get paid to handle this, because I told y'all I worked 1099 and W-2 within this industry, looking at things from a different vantage point. The only thing that I have not done, which I kind of do just in a private environment, is a booth rent. And I'm still on the fence about that, because I see the pros, but I see the cons as well. So, but nonetheless, I am experiencing it, but just in a different format. So I say that because I want to have the background when I go in the classroom. I'm able to share that knowledge with the future barber and beauty professionals entering into the industry. So once again, your schedule should reflect your values, not just availability. So in closing out these points, I forgot. Hold on. LaDosha says this topic is definitely needed. Thank you so much. I'm being intentional about it. I take notes. Like I say, I look at my content as being evergreen. So if somebody listening today, they pick it up in 2 months or a year from now, it's something there that they can pull from the information. And whether they're in the barber and beauty industry or they're in another industry, the fundamental principles still can be used in whatever it is that they do. And I think that is the unicorn that I carry, having been in various career fields. And I know some of you all can attest to this. Being in various different career fields on different levels has helped me out And I can say I'm right where I'm supposed to be, even though sometimes I think, man, you should have did this and could have, should have did this a long time ago. But I'm right where I'm supposed to be, bringing the information with the knowledge that I have and desire to share. So again, in closing out, I have some coaching questions. The coach and me have some questions. Whether you're viewing this now, catching this on the replay, or down the line from now, I want you to think about these questions that I'm preparing to share with you. I just want you to think about these. The first one: does your vision support your humanity? Not humanity as a whole, but does it support your humanity? What it is that you desire to do in this world? What season are you really in right now? This is something that I'm assessing for myself. This is something that I'm looking at, because like I shared earlier in point number one about lifestyle point number two, where it changes, your capacity is not fixed, it changes with season. We got winter, we got fall, we have spring, and we have summer. I would hope someone who's we in summer not wearing winter clothes and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So ask yourself, what season are you really in right now? Think on that, meditate on that, and then adjust and be intentional about the structure you're creating for your ideal barber life, or beauty life, or braider life. Be intentional about that. All right. The last question that I want to present to you, or ask of you to ponder on and think about, is what would alignment look like if you design your week first? So I'm going to throw this at you. Remember when we was young? I know my mom used to do this. When I was young, my mom would have us, one, because she was a stylist. She worked in the salon. And oftentimes, depending on her schedule and who she had, she would get us off to school, or some days she would leave early. And the neighbor, back in the day, the neighbor would look after us and make sure we got off to the bus stop and things. And then when I became old enough, to see that things were good and we could be left alone, because I'm the oldest, I would ensure that my younger sibling had it together. Anyway, the example I wanted to share was, my mom would have us get our clothes out for the week. She would literally look at what we were wearing, on what day we were wearing it, and how it looked together. How, just coordinate it. We would have to iron it. If we wanted to wear a certain pair of socks, a belt, whatever it was, we had to put those items together and hang it up in the closet, so that on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we had X amount of outfits. All right. So I bring that up with this last question, something to ponder. What would alignment look like if you design your week first? So think about that. And I remember saying this, y'all. I used to iron out my clothes for the shop, even though we wore black. I used to iron out my clothes in the shop until I decided to start wearing smocks when I worked in this salon. I just wore my smock and what these things called, y'all? Scrubs. One, I found that the hair comes off them really, really easy. I don't have to think a lot about what I'm going to wear. I still look professional because my smocks are professional looking. But in that, just think about that. Those are some things that I want y'all to think of. And we got some questions, some comments coming in. Facts, speak it. Thank you. Self-preservation is key. Yes, it is, LaDosha. She also says here, the good old days, I still do that to this day. I do. And I got to tell y'all this. This is a little side note. But so say I wear these here and I've washed them and I got quite a few of them lined up. Guess what? In my laundry room, I go ahead and iron them all up and hang them up in the closet with this designated smock that I have to go with it. Y'all hold on for a second. Let me go get the top that go with this. Hold on. All right. So I got a couple of them. So this is the one that goes with this one. And y'all see how detailed I am. That's the designer in me. But it's detailed out. So I would just wear this when I worked the W-2. And I had other ones, just iron them up. Got the shirt, got the smock to go with it. I iron them up, get finished with one, dirty clothes, bring out the next. And I have about 7 or 8 of them, different embroideries, different fabric, and I just alternate between them. But the point I'm making is I still iron them, hang them up, and rotate them out. Anywho, let me get back to the point. Those are just some things that I want to share with you all as it relates to our topic, vision without burnout, designing your ideal barber life. And designing your ideal barber life is what works for you. The first point that I mentioned today was vision that ignores lifestyle creates burnout. So that means your lifestyle involved with your barber schedule. Okay. The point that I want, the takeaway for that is if your goals don't include rest, they're incomplete. If you don't rest that body, your body is going to put you down and tell you it need to rest. And when it gets to that point, you don't want to get it to that point. Because at that point, especially if this is your money maker, your bread, and you don't have any additional income sources, and this is how you support yourself and your family, you got to take care of your body. You got to balance it out. All right. And I'm talking to you young ones too. All right. The second point I mentioned was capacity isn't fixed. It changes with seasons. Just like the season change and we change our clothes to fit the season. Well, our capacity, i.e., what we handle today or what we can handle today, we may not be able to handle that 2-3 months from now, 5 years from now, 10 years down the line. So we got to make those adjustments. And the question I ask, what season are you really in? Examine that, match it all up, and make it work for you. The third point we talked about is designing an ideal barber life, a stylist life, or braider life, or whatever life you're living requires intentional structure. All right. Structure protects your energy and your promise, your purpose, and your peace. We talked about that. I've given you all the questions that I want you to think on. Let me go through this real quick. Let's see. We got some more comments here. All right. LaDosha says, even my food, my mom did that with meal planning. You know what? We from old school. Yeah. We had what we were eating for the week. She cooked for the week. And on Fridays and Saturdays, depending on if we finished what was cooked during the week, we might get a McDonald's or Churches or what was it back then? Bojangles? I think Bojangles had just came out. But we didn't eat out all the time like we do now. We had meals, hot cooked meals. LaDosha says here, oh, I'm vain. I'm going to work on fleek Okay, I got you. I got you. You know, I do too. But like I said, when I was in that one environment, the fast-paced environment, I just, yeah, I ain't want to think about it. And then, you know, coming off um the loss of my father, I still want to look professional, but not have to think too much because I was going through a lot at that time. So I was looking at ways to simplify things for myself, um, whatever that may have been. So yeah, but it still works now. It still works now. Ladosha says, "I love Yah-Tay. I've got to get to meet you in person. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It will happen." Let's see what's this other comment. We can't say love them. I love the tribe. Look to them too. Oh, thank you. That's intentional. That's intentional. So I remember saying this in a podcast. I don't have to say that I love my culture. I, you know, believe and shoot it from the, you know, shout it from the mountaintop. I exude it in how I carry myself and how I speak highly of us. And yeah, yeah. So what's this? I'm finna copy that. Oh, but let me tell y'all where I got it from. So this what inspired this for me. Y'all remember Beauty Shop, right? With Queen Latifah and who was it? Was it Adele Givens? Somebody had on the kente cloth. Um, was it Alfred Woodard? Somebody, I can't think of her name, but she had it on in the movie. Go and watch Beauty Shop and you'll see. I got the inspiration from there. So, oh, let me pull it off and show you. So it's designed around the neck, the arms, and it depends on how the cape is the smock is designed. And then of course the pocket and the bottom. That's one. I got a couple other ones too. And then this is another one. As you can see, this design is a little bit different. This collar kind of stands up. The pockets here. And that's the back. So I have a few of them like that. Yeah, I have a few of them like that. But that's where I got the inspiration from. I got some more comments. Let me get these comments and then I'm gonna close out. We can't call me Yah-Tay. Yah-Tay Jr. Stop. Hey, I like I say, I got this inspiration off of Beauty Shop. I think I'm gonna watch that again tonight. I'm gonna watch that again tonight. Ladosha, you are so funny. Let's see here. We got a whole bunch of comments. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm slow on the comments. Hold on. Ladosha, you are right. We must be mindful that balance is the key. It is. And that's what I think me sharing this information, I know we hold to a lot of traditional things within the industry. My next topic, depending on if I get my speaker on next week or not, but my next topic is gonna, I think it's this one or the next one, because I got a series that kind of build upon one another that I'm doing. The hustle mentality. I talked about it in the last podcast. Hustle culture versus healthy career. So my intentions, because I've experienced a lot, been in many different careers, balance is key. Balance is key with anything, especially in this field, especially with what we take in, you know, not from just a physical standpoint in terms of our body and what we do as service provider, but also from a mental standpoint, the conversations, you know, being the coach, being the therapist, being the cheerleader, being the confidant. That takes on a lot as well. Then we got our stuff, our life that we're dealing with. So balance and rest and, carving out time for ourselves is very, very important. Not only in this career, but all careers. But because I'm in this one, I'm speaking to this one. So being mindful, as Sandra said, is key. Let's see. We got some more. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Do you sell them? No, I don't sell them. You know what? That could be something. But I will say I'm intentional about the patterns. And that I think that comes from me having worked in the interior design field and things coordinating and looking good. And it's part of the professional presentation. So no, I don't design them, but can I share this with y'all? How I also came about it after I watched the movie. I watched the movie 1,000 times. I was sitting in barber class one day, and I'm gonna have to put the image up. I'm gonna share it in the stories, y'all. When I find it, I'm gonna share it in the stories, and y'all will know what I'm talking about. Okay. I literally designed it on a piece of paper. This was the first one. I designed it. This was the first one. And I designed it on a piece of paper and then had it done. So I designed mine. I don't sell them, LaDosha, but that's something that probably could be sold, huh? Let's see. What's another question? All right. I think I got everything. So in closing, I want to say vision without burnout. Design the ideal life that you want as a barber or a stylist. Include these 3 points or take them into consideration if you want to design a career without burnout. And I'm saying career, whether it be barber, a stylist, or a braider, you want a vision that includes lifestyle, not excludes lifestyle. Because when it excludes your lifestyle, you're headed towards burnout. All right. The second point is your capacity to be able to handle something now may not work down the line. So evolving is good. Evolving is a great thing. It doesn't mean weakness. So you like the seasons change and we evolve and we're not wearing a onesie like we did when we were a baby. You got to evolve too. All right. Ask yourself, what season are you in right now? Whatever season are you in, you structure things to fit that season. And the last point we discussed is designing an ideal barber life. It requires intentional structure. But in creating a structure, a blueprint, or a plan, have some contingencies in place. Leave space for change. Leave space for delays. Leave space for things that will happen. Leave space and try not to be hard on yourself. Okay. That's all I have. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for joining episode number 53 of Female Barber Talk with Yah-Tay. I am Yah-Tay Keaton, your host of Female Barber Talk. And this has been episode 53, Vision Without Burnout, Designing Your Ideal Barber Life. If this information has helped you, please share it. All right. Please share it. Don't forget to leave a comment on those questions that I asked. Does your vision support your humanity? What season are you in right now? I mean, right now, what season are you in? And what would alignment look like if you design your week first? Okay. What would that look like? What would that entail? And we use it, and LaDosha and I use the example of our parents had us get our clothes out, those meals, Yeah, we knew what we was eating. No, you having cereal this morning because I don't have time to cook. Anyway, what does alignment look like for what would alignment look like for you if you design your week? Start small and work your way up. Don't be so hard on yourself. And remember, your schedule should reflect your values, not your availability. All right. That's all I got. Thank you all for tuning in. More episodes to come, more guests to come, more first Sundays to come with Brandy and I. So stay tuned. I'm trying things out, switching up, stretching myself, and just stepping out there. So you'll see that reflected. Like tonight, I did a different setting. I'm like, let me try something different. So this is a different setting for me. So I'm working on a new setting as it relates to broadcasting. But thank you all for joining. Greatly appreciated. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave your comments for the questions that I've asked. And if you have any questions, have any suggestions, I'm open for constructive comments. Let's see. We got a few more comments here. Shantavia Bolton. Hey, thank you. Hey, this is Gracie. Hey, Gracie Denise. Thank you for joining. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, so Gracie Denise is an awesome braider here. I've attended a couple of her classes on braiding to fine-tune my skills. If you're looking to level up, y'all reach out to her. Gracie Denise, she's located here in Columbia. Let's see who else is tuned in. This is great. Thank you. Sandra say, great podcast tonight. Thank you. I appreciate it. And we can say wonderful podcast as always. Thank you all for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. I'm going to sign off because I got to get the rest of these topics together and work on this list. And look, put my uniform back up. Have a good one. Enjoy, everyone. We can say have a good night, everyone. Appreciate you all. Talk to y'all soon. Have a great one. Enjoy.
Naturals.